packed.
The Majority Leader.
I ask consent that further proceedings on the quorum call be dispensed with.
Without objection.
I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business today, it adjourn until 9 a.m. Monday, March 23rd. Further, that following the prayer and pledge, the morning hour be deemed expired, the journal of proceedings be approved to date, time for the two leaders be reserved for their use later in the day, and morning business be closed. Further, following leader remarks, the Senate resume consideration of the motion to proceed to H.R. 748.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object.
The Democratic Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Now, I know the Majority Leader likes to talk about partisanship, but we're not here for that reason. The bill we're voting on will affect us for not just in the days to come, but in the months and years to come. And we need the best bill possible. We Democrats have seen some real flaws in the bill that was put on the floor by the Republicans. And what it has is, for instance, a giant corporate bailout fund with no accountability. You wouldn't even know if the loans were made until 6 months later. What we have seen is a cutback in what we asked for hospitals, doctors, nurses, masks, equipment. We need more money than the Republican majority proposed. What we have seen is no money for state and local governments. They're going broke. They have huge new expenses. We need to make those better. And so the bottom line is very simple. We are fighting for a better bill because this bill will have an effect for a very, very long time. I've been working with Secretary Mnuchin, the President's congressional liaison, Eric. They've been in my office about 6 times tonight. We're making progress. I think there's a good chance we'll have an agreement. But we don't need artificial deadlines. We will get this done. We will come in at noon, and hopefully we will have an agreement by then. So I object.
Objection is heard.
Madam President,
The Majority Leader.
as I've said repeatedly, and I think all 100 of us know, we had a good bipartisan bill developed on a bipartisan basis with members in the Senate over the last 48 hours until the Democratic leader and the Speaker of the House decided to blow it all up and play Russian roulette with the markets. The futures market is dramatically down going into tomorrow. The Asian markets, I suspect, I haven't checked, are probably rattled by all this. Nothing would have been lost by allowing us to get on the bill because they could have used 30 more hours. Not that they should have, but they could have used 30 more hours to continue to negotiate. But alas, every single one of them has been on record preventing us from taking the next step toward getting an agreement the American people are waiting and waiting and waiting for us to get. So, the result of what the Majority Leader, the Democratic leader just did was to prevent us from voting right after the markets open in the morning and allow the markets to be rattled until noon. Further evidence of the reckless behavior we've witnessed on the Democratic side in the Senate over the last hours. So, Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business today, it adjourn until 12 noon, Monday, March 23rd. Further, that following the prayer and pledge, the morning hour be deemed expired, the journal and proceedings be approved to date, the time for the two leaders be reserved for use later in the day, and morning business be closed. Further, following leader remarks, the Senate resume consideration of the motion to proceed to H.R. 748.
Without objection.
So if there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask to stand adjourned under the previous order.
Senate stands adjourned until noon tomorrow.